There are a lot of videos on YouTube of automatic minis or other automatic cars using launch control. However, you can do the same thing on a manual car like this and get very similar results. In this video, we will show you how to launch a manual mini and what kind of results you should expect. My name is Ethan and welcome to Car Creations. So before we do anything, first things first, we need to warm up the components of the car, and this includes engine oil, which is extremely important because if you don't have warm engine oil going through the components, you can actually break the parts of your car. First things first, spiritual driving. First things first, spirited driving. So if you buy a manual, you will be missing out if you don't learn how to launch it properly. With a perfect launch, you can often beat the official 0 to 60 times. In this car, you'll find people that consistently get 5.5 to 5.6 on a stock engine. On the automatic Cooper, you'll always get the exact same launch consistently every single time. But if you can learn how to do it proper on a standard car, you can actually get much better performance. So before you do start launching your car, there's a couple things you should take under consideration. So first, drivetrain. Is your car all-wheel drive? Is it rear-wheel drive? Or is it front-wheel drive? And depending on each one of those factors, it will depend on how high or how low on the tachometer you will launch your car at. The other thing you want to consider is the horsepower of your car. This car is around 228 horsepower, so it'll be, and at the same time it's front wheel drive. So around the perfect area for this car to launch is just above 2,000 RPM. If you have a car, say with 500 to 600 horsepower, you want to also launch it low because else you'll just end up doing a big burnout. If your car has less horsepower, 128i or something like that, you'll want to use higher RPMs as it doesn't have as much power, and what will happen is your engine will cut out and bog down once you launch. Another factor you want to consider is your tires. For me, my tires are starting to get a little bit worn, so they do squeal and slip a little bit easier than other cars. So once again, that's why this car ends up having a lower RPM speed to launch. From factory with brand new tires, you might be able to go a little bit higher and get a little bit better times. As I mentioned before, you want to make sure your oil is at a decent temperature. You want to make sure all your parts are moving smoothly. If you suddenly just dump your clutch, you'll find that you might have parts flying out of the back of the car. And no one really wants that, do they? So, how do you launch? In order to get your car ready for launch control, there's a number of procedures you should do. Technically, you can do it in any mode, but it's definitely preferred to do it obviously in sport mode. So you toggle sport mode up. In minis, there's two modes. There's traction control completely off, and then there's just halfway off. So if you just press traction control once, it will turn halfway off. And then if you hold it down for around 10 seconds, it will turn completely off. Now, careful. When you turn traction control completely off, you'll find that you get rid of all driver aids. Obviously that includes traction control, but also stability control, stop automatic blipping on your downshifts. Basically, it can make you crash if you're not careful. And a few of us may have actually done that ourselves. So, once you have that all ready, you want to find a nice straight section. Make sure there's no one around you, of course. And then you get your car lined up. You want to put it into first gear. Make sure handbrake's off. Put your foot on the clutch. And if you're flat ground, you shouldn't need the brake. And you put your foot on the gas and you hold it down until you get your desired RPMs. As soon as you get to the required RPMs and you're ready, you hold down the RPMs. As soon as you slam the gas, same time you want to let off from the clutch. Wheels should do half a spin and you get propelled forward. Put down the handbrake, first gear, and then I bring up the RPMs to just below 2,000 RPM, and then dump the clutch. Front-wheel drive cars like this one, you will get more wheel spin than you probably want. That's because as soon as you start getting more propulsion, the car will slump backwards and all the weight will be on the rear wheels instead of the front wheels. You'll get less traction on the front. Well, all-wheel drive cars, ideal, because all wheels obviously will be spinning, and when your car slumps backwards, the rear will go. Now, rear-wheel drive cars, when slumps backwards, can't do too much else you get squiggly. So that's it for the video today. Hopefully you learned something. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment if you have any suggestions for future videos. Launch control, right? Don't have to answer. Yeah! Don't put that in, that was freaky and disturbing on my part. It'll just be in the bloopers. Okay.